everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sue of Bendnstretch with Sue. In today's video, I am taking you through a live class that I did recently with my students via Zoom. For this one, you will need some light weights should you wish to use them. You could totally do the entire practice without them, simply using your own body resistance. However, I have some 2-pound weighted balls here. I've got a couple of those that I'll be using, and I'll be alternating it with some 5-pound dumbbells as well as some 10-pound dumbbells. So go ahead, get the weights that you need if you are planning on using them. Otherwise, with your mat, you're good to go, and let's get started now. Do be sure to give me one of these if you like it. Love it if you consider subscribing and hit that notification bell so you'll know when I upload new content. And you can check it out and check me out in the next video. We'll just warm up first. So weights are nearby, ready to go. Let's take a nice big inhale, floating those arms up, and exhale, bringing them down again. Breathing in to reach up. And bringing your right arm down and just leaning into that side, gently pushing the hips to the left. Inhaling, right arm up. Exhale, bring the left one down. And let's just start to introduce some length into the body, some space, awareness of our muscles that we're going to be using, and getting the blood pumping into those muscles as well. Back up again, one more time, over to the left. And as you bring the left hand to meet the right, let's interlace fingers for steeple hands and just create a nice little bit of a lean back here as we move the hips forward, really stretching and lengthening through the front lines of the body. Come on back, and let's swan dive it down into forward fold. From here, soften your knees and slowly unroll to come all the way back up again. I'm just going to turn sideways so you get a little bit more of a side profile. Reaching up, leaning back here, inhale, and then exhale as you dive it down, hinging at the hips. And from here, bend both of the knees, bring the hands to the mat, and we'll straighten the right leg as we send the hip upward. Bending the right leg and then sending the left one up. Bending right or bending left, straightening right. So alternating it side to side as we introduce some blood flow into those glutes, hamstrings, and getting some length in there. One more time to the left. And as we bend both of them, take the left hand underneath the face, reach up with your right arm and straighten that right leg as much as you're able to. Without locking the knee, of course. Bring that right hand under the face and let's switch it over to the other side. Reaching up, looking up, keeping space in the neck, and bring that arm down again. Slowly unroll yourself. Take a nice big breath in, reach it up and back, and as you dive it down once again into forward fold, I'm just going to walk the hands away and bring those hands to the top portion of the mat, adjust the body to come into a plank position. From here, we'll step the right foot forward, bringing the right arm up, looking up, taking that right arm and thread it through behind your left one, looking toward your right fingertips, and then reach it up again. Breathe in and then breathe out. A little twist here as you look to the left, inhaling, and then exhale, reach up. One more time, reach that through as you thread the arm behind your left one and reach it up. And bring the arm back down again, stepping back to your plank, stepping the left foot beside the left hand, keeping the right leg nice and straight. If you need to bring the knee down, by all means go ahead and do that. Reaching your left arm up, look up to that hand, and then thread it through behind your right arm. and reach. So we get some nice mobility here in our thoracic spine. Opening up through the chest and the shoulders as well. One more time we go through this. And bring it back up, inhale. And bring that hand down. Let's bring it back to a downward facing dog. Spread the hands to a nice big handprint. Spread your shoulder blades apart as well. And then move it back into a plank. From here, align the body. We bring the right knee in and step it back. Left and back. So starting to maybe increase the pace a little bit here as we walk this out. And keeping the hips nice and level also. So try not to get your hips popping up. If you can, adding a little bit of a jog here to really get that blood flowing. And from here, bring it back, downward dog. Lifting the right leg up into a three-legged dog. Spread those shoulders apart again. Bring the knee in and step the foot to the top of your mat. From here, we're going to bring the left knee down. You can reach for your weights, whichever weight. We're going to use one to start off. I'm going to go with my medium one here, with a light one ready to go if I need it. Keeping the chest squared in front and bringing the weight in my right hand. So from here, you can keep your left hand on the floor or you can bring it to the hip. And we're going to lift it up to activate the tricep. So you want to lift that elbow as if there was a string tied to that elbow, lifting it up toward the ceiling. Now we're just bringing it up though to level with our shoulder. So you're not cranking it back, you're not creating strain in the shoulder, but you're strengthening everything around. You're working that tricep from here. I'll take the lighter weight. We're going to lift it up again and bring it back. Bend and straighten. So try to keep your elbow in line with your shoulder as you isolate in that tricep, pressing firmly into that front foot so you're getting some activation in your right glutes here. Your right hip is getting some strengthening. And let's hold it extended. Nice long line. Let's pulse it out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend and release it. Step or slide the hips back. Lift the toes up. Bend your or tip from your hip crease so that you create a really nice long line through that hamstring. Pulling the toes back is going to stretch into your Achilles tendon as well. And let's switch it up as we come to our downward facing dog. Now I'm just going to turn myself around. You can stay as you are in your downward dog just so that you get a better look here as I lift up my left leg into that downward dog, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, step the foot to the top of the mat and sink into the hips. So you can stretch the top of your foot or you can keep a bend in your, or keep the toes tucked as you press into that front foot. So you're focusing there, right hand to the right hip and lifting up. So we continue to lift and release, lift and release. Now on the release, you're controlling the weight down. So you're not letting your arm kind of just drop or flop down. So squeezing on the way up, but then you're squeezing on the way down. So you're always working those muscles as you control your movement up and your movement down. You're keeping that elbow tucking in. Think about bringing the elbow toward your mid-back. So you're not letting it flare out to the side. The last one, from here, I'm going to switch it up And I'm going to extend and bend. Reach and bend. So again, focus is in that tricep. So you want to try to keep it elevated. So if I stayed with my medium weight, what would happen is I would start to drop my elbow so it's no longer in that long line, and or I might start using my shoulder to kind of throw the arm up a bit, and we want to avoid that. We want to keep that focus in the tricep. Hold it here, hold it extended, keep your body squared as we pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it down. Again, push the hips back. So we stretch that hip that we've just been working here in our kneeling lunge. And from here, you can bring the knee underneath the hip, take a roll up, and let's stretch those triceps as you bring the arms right alongside the ears, taking your right hand between the shoulder blades, left hand on that right elbow, slide it down, and look up. Press the back of your head into the arm. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, switch. Bringing your left hand between the shoulder blades, right hand on that elbow, lifting your gaze once again. Breathe. And release the arms. Take a few shoulder rolls here to loosen up into that shoulder area, and bring the hands behind the back, interlace, and stretch and open up into your chest, lifting the heart forward and upward. Squeeze the glutes here to maintain a really nice form, and then release. Inhale, bring those arms up. Exhale, bring the hands down and walk them away, tucking the toes under to take it back to your downward facing dog. Bending right leg, straighten the left one and tend your left heel to the sky or to the floor, and then switch to the right side. And let's bring both knees to the floor, bringing the hands underneath the shoulders. From here, I'm going to take my medium weight. You could use your light one, whichever one you have available. Even with the balls, I'm still able to squeeze behind my knee. So from here, I'm going to focus on the powerhouse, staying engaged so that my back is supported, so I'm not collapsing at all. I'm not collapsing my shoulders too. Quite often in a table position on all fours like that, there's a tendency to kind of collapse into the shoulder. So if you spread your hands into a nice big handprint, just try sinking into the shoulder bit here and then pressing back up. So sink and press. So you can see the difference here in activation in your upper back as well as your chest and shoulders. So the next time that I press up, I'm going to stay there, hold it there, reach your head forward, and lift and lower the leg. So knee floats up and down. So try and keep your body squared also, so that you're not kind of tipping over to the right side. You want to stay in line with your shoulders lining up to your hips, hips lining up to your shoulders, so that you're nice and straight. So not only are you working that left glute in this instance, or whichever one you placed your weight on, but you're also working those hamstrings and your core, most of all, your chest, your upper back. So lots going on here. As you bring that leg up, hold it up, keep those hips square. Again, pull that belly button to your spine so you don't collapse into the lower back, and let's pulse for 10, 9. So the pulse is a smooth lift. It's not a bounce. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it down. From here, I'll just set the weight aside, but I'm going to continue working on that left side, lifting the leg back up and reaching it long. Bend and reach. So flexing the ankle here so that I remain active through the back of that leg. Keep breathing. Make sure you're not concentrating so hard that you start to hold your breath. So we've got 5 more. Keeping that leg as much in line as you can with your hip. 3 more. So when you extend, you're still keeping that ankle flexed, reaching through the heel. Last one. And bring it in. Just long enough to think about it. If you want, you could use your weight here once again, same side. Tucking that weight behind the knee as you stay nice and square, pulled in. Nice long neck, and we open into hydrant. Out to the side. Again, try not to send all your weight to the right. Stay as centered to the middle as you can. 5 more from here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. And again, you can lose the weight momentarily. Still a little bit of work to do on the side as you reset. Ground through the pressure points on the mat. Lift and extend. Bend. Bring it in. Lift. Again, try to keep yourself as centered as possible. So when you reach the leg to the side, it's not about trying to get it really high, but it's more about holding it in place so that you are still remaining centered, not sending everything away on the right side. So last 5 and 4, 3, 2, last one, and bring it in. Whew. Push those hips back. Come on into a child's pose as you really soften up the arm. Give the head a little gentle turn from side to side. And slowly come on back up into your table. Move up into an angry cat as you tuck your tail, tuck your chin. Inhale, lift it up, and exhale, tuck in around, pull that belly in. And one last one here. From here, we reset, we get ready to do it on the other side. Again, I'm just going to turn around so you get a better visual. Now, if you need to at this point, you can always come down on forearms. You can also come up on fists if that agrees with your wrists and makes it a little bit more comfortable. But when you are set to go, we're going to take one of our weights. If you have, you don't have to, because this certainly targets glute and hamstring with or without a weight. So you figure out what's going to be best for you today. So as you squeeze that weight or squeeze the heel, regardless, towards your bottom, you're going to lift and lower. Now you might find here right away that one side is easier than the other. And keep working it through anyway. Keep it centered. Exercise concentration in contracting that right glute and that right hamstring. Concentrate on keeping the belly pulled in so your back is well supported. Keep that oxygen fueling those muscles by breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Relaxing the jaw, softening it up. And let's do one more for good measure here. Bring it down and set the weight aside. reset your arms however best for you. I'm going to give fists a try here as I align myself, squaring up the body. And with the leg bent, I'm going to reach it out. So keep that squeeze in the glute. Keep the ankle flexed. When you tuck the heel or bend the knee, it's as if you're trying to bring the heel towards your bottom, squeezing that hamstring, and just reaching away through your heel. Keep your body centered. So that's 5. We've got 5 more from here. Work those glutes. Think about the muscles in your glutes firing. That's how you develop that body connection, that mind-body connection. Those glutes tend to be lazy muscles. They don't want to work. So, especially with all the sitting that we tend to do in our Western lifestyle, especially right now, if you're finding yourself spending a lot more time indoors, you might be finding more time sitting on those glutes where they are totally at rest and not working. The hips take over when you do need those glutes to work. So last one, bend and bring it in. Whew, so we're going right into the next exercise. We're taking it into our hydrants, so with or without a weight, as we reset here. Stay nice and active through the body. So you lift it to the side and bring it in. Make sure that you're not hyperextending through your elbows as well. You've got the teeniest, tiniest bit of softness in them so that they're not locked. And you are able to stay out of sinking into the shoulder. Stay active in those shoulders. That's going to help you in your planks as you develop more awareness in your table position. Last 3. And we're controlling on the way up and the way down. So we're not throwing the leg up. We're just squeezing it up and back down. So again, you can set the weight aside as we come back to our table position. And from here, we're going to lift and reach, bend, and bring it back. So as you do this, again, be aware of what's going on your right side. Can you stay really well aligned? Remember, it's not about reaching really high up, because if you do, what may happen is you twist, and then you're losing the effect of those side glutes. We want those side glutes fired up and working, holding the contraction. And let's do the last 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it in. Whew, come on back to your child's pose. Stretch it out. Give that head a little bit of a turn. Maybe even bring the arms alongside your legs in order to create even more release in your shoulders, more release of your body weight onto your thighs, creating some compression there. And slowly unroll. As we take the hands to the top of the mat, we're coming back to our downward facing dog. Well, give the hands, the arms a little bit of a rest here as we walk the hands back. And from here, slowly unrolling to come up to standing nice and tall back into our mountain stance. So from here, taking the arms up alongside the ears. And we want to keep them slightly forward in front of the ears. Take a breath in and exhale, sinking into a squat as you press. So when you come up, make sure that you are squeezing your glutes, sinking your weight back into your heels, and you're still pressing though into the balls of the feet, but you're really concentrating that weight into your heels. Keeping your chest lifted as much as you can, resisting the temptation to just bow forward. So every time you come up, can you feel those glutes squeezing at the top? Last one. And release the arms down at your sides. We'll let the shoulders here, loosen it up. And from here, I'm going to reach for my medium weights. So taking those, one in each hand, and I'm coming back to that squatting position, but I'm going to keep my toes pointed straight ahead, and the feet are parallel to each other. As I open up through the chest, pull the navel in. Now, if you need to drop your weight or use a lighter weight, by all means, go ahead. Again, we're going to use a combination of legs and shoulders, so I don't want you to put straight on the shoulders, just strength on the shoulders. So take a breath in and sink down for our suitcase squat and bring those weights up in front. Sink it back and reach it up. So the entire movement is done with control. You're not swinging those weights up. You're simply lifting those arms, lowering the arms with control on the way up and on the way down. So sink into your heels. So we've got two more from here. Last one. Bring it up and bring those weights back down again. Well, again, you can remain here with your medium weights, light, even heavy if you like. We're coming into some lunges. From here, I'm going to step my left foot forward, keeping my hips squared to the front and bending that back knee as I dip down. Now from here, I'm going to bring the weights to my shoulders, hold them here as I bend and straighten, bending and straightening. So just moving the body straight up and straight down. Lots of focus in my front heel, which activates the back chain of my left leg. So that's where there's lots of work going on, as well as my core for stabilizing me to move up and down. So continuing with another 3, 2, and 1. Bring it all the way down. And release the weights from here. I'm going to lean forward slightly as I lift the elbows up and bring the weights back down again. Lift and lower. Keep going. I'm just going to turn sideways so that you can, or forward, so you can have a better look here as I lift those elbows, kind of like we did with our tricep kickbacks earlier. It says if you have strings tied to those elbows as you lift them out to the sides, so really firing up those deltoids as you work the shoulder while still working the upper arms and the chest, because you are controlling on the way up, controlling on the way down. Now the next time that we lift, we're going to lift and hold, and from here we're going to pulse it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it down again. Tucking the back toes under if you can, without using the hands, pressing firmly into that front foot to lift the knee up off the floor and step the feet back to the rear of your mat. So I'm just turning around here. So once again, you get a better visual as I step forward with my right foot. So it's a big step, and staying on the ball of the back foot, bringing the weights to my shoulders as I stay nice and tall, bending and straightening. So continuing to move up and down. Again, it's a movement just like an elevator as I lift and lower. So hang in here. We've only got one more leg exercise after this, and it will be more focused on inner thighs, outer thighs. I did promise a break on the legs today. So we've only got these 3. And from here, let's lower it all the way down as we bring the weights down alongside. So again, you're pressing into that front foot as you lean forward. From here, we're going to come back to our rows, working the back, working the shoulders, and working that front glute and hamstring. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we're going to hold it up on 10. Hold it up here. Hold it and pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it. Once again, you can keep holding on to the weights or set them aside, tuck the back toes under, lifting that knee up, and let's come to standing. So we're going to take the feet wide apart here, and we want to bring the outside edges of the feet parallel to the edges of your mat. Staying nice and tall, we start with the weights right in front of the chest, keeping the feet in that same position as we reach over to one side. Bring the weights down, keep your chest lifted, and bring it up again. We're going to the same side as we bend and reach, squeeze. So we're just doing a little bit of an extension of the biceps and a contraction as we get some focus on inner and outer thigh here. Core is on as we stay supported. After this, we've got a few deadlifts, and from here or from there, we'll be taking it onto the mat. We're going to be doing a lot of focus on our abs. And bring it all the way back up again. Pause. Let's switch it over to the other side. Reaching down and up. Reach and up. So when you reach, make sure you're not collapsing forward. It would be really easy to hinge, but instead we want to keep it a reach. We want to press that knee toward the baby toe. So we really get some work and control in the inner and outer thigh. Curling those biceps as we bring those weights up. So last 3, 2, and last one. Bring it up. From here, I'm going to switch over to my heavier weights, and I'm going to use the medium weights. Now, if you don't have dumbbells or 2 sets of dumbbells, what you could do is roll up the edge of your mat so that you can place your heels over that edge, kind of creating a heel of sort as we bring the attention to the backs of those legs. So start out with those glutes squeezed. Inhale, soften through the knees as you glide those weights down toward the shins, and then picking up again, keeping your arms in the same position. Don't let the arms, the shoulders come forward. Keep some softness in the elbows as you tip. So all of the action here is happening at the hip crease. As you tip forward, your back stays nice and long, and your glutes are controlling the way down, and they're controlling the way up. Squeezing, controlling. And we'll do one last one right here. Bring it all the way up. You can give the legs a little shake if you like, or come right into the next one as we bring the balls of the feet either on that rolled up mat or your other set of dumbbells if you have them, whatever you can place there, just so your toes, balls of the feet are higher than your heels. If it's too much, just do a flat foot on your mat. Inhale, exhale. Keep that belly button pulled towards your spine. Breathing in, breathing out. This is the last standing exercise here. From here, we are going down onto the mat. We get to sit. We get to lay down. So that can't be too bad if we're laying around in our practice. Taking a little time here to really feel the activation of glutes. Squeezing them nice and firm to come back up again. So we're going to do one more after this one. Again, be mindful of what your arms or shoulders are doing here. And bring it all the way back up again. And release. You can step aside from those weights. Shake out the legs a little bit. Move the weights out of your way if they're on your mat. And from here, let's bring the hands to opposite elbows. Kind of like genie arms, as if you're going to make a wish here. And you're going to step one leg in front of the other. So you're crossing the ankles. Now, if you have any knee, hip issues that prevent you from doing this, by all means modify, use your hands. But if possible, we're going to start squatting down, rolling onto the outside edges of the feet to bring ourselves into a very graceful seated position. So from here, bringing the feet in front, taking one of your weights. We're going to turn sideways again so you have a better visual. And from here, we're coming into a V-sit or a boat as it's known in yoga. We're going to take the hands. So if you can use a weight, or for sure you could do this completely without weight. Just interlace your fingers and kind of hold them in front of you. But we're going to start with the weight in front of our chest, and then we're going to turn our chest. So the weight never moves, only your body twisting side to side creates the movement. So you can do this with that little bit of a lean back as I'm doing now, or you could pick up the feet and have them hovering above the mat. You could even keep your big toes hovering on the mat, just grounded there. Or you can come into half boat. Now, as you twist to one side, you can extend the other leg. Bring it back and switch. In and switch. Kind of bicycling the legs to create even more load on those abdominal muscles. See if we can do another 4. 3 more. 2 more. Make sure you're breathing. And last one. And bring that in. Well done. From here, we come on to our side. And I'm going to place my elbow under my shoulder. You could have one knee on the floor, or you could simply have both legs or both feet stacked so that you are using the core to keep everything lifted up off the mat. I'm going to reach for my lighter weight, my 2 pound ball. And from here, I'm going to lift up into side plank. So you want to maintain your alignment here of your elbow and your shoulder opening up. I'm taking the weight in my top hand, bringing it through under my ribs, and then extending it up. So you can see how this one could completely be done without a weight at all. Reaching through, a little bit of twisting in the torso. And let's see, can we do 10 of these? So that would mean another 5 from here. 5. Looking up at that top hand when you bring it up. 3. And 2. And 1 more. Bring it down. Whew, that was tough. From here, we're going to bring ourselves onto our side, so bringing the ear to the arm, the folded arm. If you had a blanket, you could use that as well. But from here, we're going to lift the top leg, and we're simply going to bend it and bicycle it around. So we're bringing the knee in front and bring the foot back like a big bicycle motion. So you want to really be concentrating here on keeping your body squared, so your top shoulder and your top hip never sways forward and back, but the control that you're using is keeping it perfectly aligned. Now as we stretch the leg out, let's reverse the motion. So reaching it back first and bringing it forward. So nice big dramatic movement here. This is great for your hip mobility as well as keeping your powerhouse very, very active. So all of the mind-body connection here is fired up. It's working overtime to get everything working together. And let's finish it up. Let's go around another 2 times. One more time from here. And bring it in. Excuse me. So let's switch sides. I'm taking my light weight as I make my way onto that forearm, elbow. Again, it's all stacked. Legs are stacked, so bottom knee on the floor can be your option here to make it much easier. If that becomes too much, you could bring the bottom hip down, and again, you'd be focusing on keeping your body as solid and in control as much as possible. So from here, choose the option that works for you. Don't be afraid to modify along the way. We're going to start with that weight on the top hand, reach underneath, and bring it up, look up. We're doing 10 of these. Keep your breath going. We're already at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more, and 10. Bring it down. Come onto your side again. Find your stacking and alignment. Draw in through that powerhouse, and as you bend that front leg, bring a knee in front, we're going to begin with that big rounded bicycle motion. So remember, the top hip is staying as still as possible. possible. So you're isolating movement from the glute and the outer hip. So the leg just goes along. You're still getting some toning in the leg here, certainly because of the control that you're exercising, but the majority of the focus is going to be your powerhouse, your lower abdominals, and your upper, because you're using control. Now if you want to try to throw off your stability a little bit, you can bring the top arm up and try to keep it as still as possible. Now as you bring that leg out long, we're going to reverse the direction, going the opposite way. Keep it nice and rounded, as if you are riding a great big bicycle. Getting right around. Reaching through those tippy toes. It's going to really help to get that sense of elongating, creating space in your hip as well. You want to feel like you're creating some separation there, pulling bone away from bone. Let's do one last time around and bring it in. From here, let's roll onto our stomach. We're going to bring ourselves to neutral spine. So you're going to bring the tailbone to tuck just slightly. You're going to feel the navel lifting just slightly and keeping your neck nice and long. Tip of your nose hovers, the tops of your feet press down, and the glutes are squeezed here to maintain that tuck. Fingertips by the ears. Take an inhalation and then exhale to lift the head. Breathe in again and then breathe out to look towards your right elbow. Breathe into the center, breathe out to look to the left elbow. Breathe in center and breathe out, release. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift. Inhale and exhale, twist side to side. You can stay lifted and just keep working it side to side, or you can come down in between, giving yourself a little bit of a break. So let's do 2 more to each side. Last one. And bring the hands just outside of the ribs. Draw the elbows in, inhale. Exhale. And press it up and back into your child's pose. Bringing hips towards your heels, body softening over top of your thighs once again. So from here, let's ease into a seated position. And I am going to bring both my medium and my heavier weights beside me. And starting with, well, we'll just be conveniently placed beside me as I extend the legs, make my way up, inhale, sitting nice and tall, and as I exhale, starting to create that articulation in the spine to roll myself down. Oh, that feels so good as you bring the arms back. Make sure the ribs don't flare up. Inhale, then exhale, tuck the chin, look towards your toes, and roll your way back up again. Breathing in and breathing out. And once again, reach, reach, reach. Keep the heart nice and open. Inhale up and exhale down. This time when we stay down, I'm going to reach for my heavier weights. So you choose what you like.
to work with. And from here, making sure the spine is neutral. So by bending the knees and lifting my hips up, I can adjust to keep that spine neutral. From here, I bring the weights up. I'm going to have the palms facing each other as I start out. And I'm going to bring the legs up over my hips. As I lower the legs, I'm going to start to lower the weights, opening into a chest press here. So palms face toward my toes now, and as I lift the legs, palms face each other again. So lowering and lifting. Now I can bend the legs. If you need to modify this, you could always do toe taps instead. But adjusting according to what works for you. Now if you need to keep the legs from going down quite so low, just keep your range of motion smaller. Now I think I started out this way and got lost along the way here. So never to worry, so long as you're moving and you are aware of control in your powerhouse. You're not flopping the weights around, you're not flailing the limbs, you're controlling all of your movement. If you get messed up, that's okay. I do it all the time. So let's do one more time here. Bring it up and bring those legs down, set the weights down. Now from here, I'm just going to come into a bridge. You can interlace the fingers and press into those baby fingers to get a nice stretch through the front lines of the body. And from here, press into the left leg as I reach the right one up. Really pressing into that left heel, bend and step it down. Lift the left, reach it up, really press into that right heel. Here too, you'll probably find one side a little easier than the other. Lift those hips up nice and high and roll it back down. So from here, I go back to picking up my weights and holding them overhead once again. Now I'm going to start with the weight or the legs up. My weights do not move in this instance. We're just holding them up here right now, turning them toward the feet. Lower the legs to the point that you know you can keep your spine neutral. Lift and reach up and lower the legs. Reach up, lift and lower. So reaching toward those ankles. Maintaining that control. Again, make your movements smaller if you find that you're having trouble keeping your spine neutral. That's really the most important thing, because if your spine comes out of the neutral alignment, you're going to put pressure on your lower back, and you want to avoid that. You instead want to be using your abdominal muscles to keep your spine nice and solid. And last one. Now from here, hold the weights and lift the tailbone up for 10, 9, 8, a little reverse curl here, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the legs, bend the arms, and set those weights aside. From here, I'm going to take my lighter weights, keeping the legs bent over here, and just keeping the weights in front of my shoulders. So take an inhale as I exhale, lifting and reaching the right arm across. Bring it back and down. Inhale, exhale, reach left, and come down. Reach side to side. So it is a very smooth extension of the arm. Again, I'm not throwing the arm across, I'm simply reaching it. It's like I'm squeezing to reach, lifting the shoulder blade away from the floor of the direction that I am lifting away from. That shoulder blade comes off the floor. Side. Breathe in and breathe out. Side to side. Let's do another 2 from side to side. And one more. And bring it down. From here, I'm just going to set my weights aside. Take a nice big long stretch. Inhale to open up and really get lots of length through the body here. Bring your hands to opposite elbows, placing the forearms back down on the floor, and slide the elbows. Pick up your head, shoulders, bring them to the right corner, top corner of your mat. Keep your hips where they are, and then walk your feet toward that bottom right corner, possibly crossing your leg, the top leg, well, your left leg, which is now the top leg, over the bottom one, to create a really long stretch through the left side of your body. Use your right hand to pull a little bit on your left elbow so you get more of a stretch in your tricep and your shoulder, keeping the shoulder down on the floor as much as you can, and then release that. Come on back to the center and do the same thing on the other side. So head and shoulders go to the left, using your left hand on the right elbow, and the feet walk over to the right bottom corner, crossing the right leg on top, pulling and gazing past your your right elbow if you can. Otherwise, just gaze up at the ceiling. Keep adding that little bit of pull with your left hand. And then let it all go. Come on, back to the center. Open up the arms nice and wide here. Let your knees sway a little bit from side to side, creating a nice wiper blade motion. And then as you reach your right leg up, flex the back of it and pull your thigh towards your belly. You can stretch out your left leg if you like. You can even walk the hands up higher up the leg if you like to. Flexing that ankle is going to stretch all the way to your Achilles tendon, and then from there slide your left knee in, cross your right ankle on top. Press that thigh away first to get a nice stretch in the front of the hip flexor, and then reach through to pull and bring that knee in toward your chest. Squeeze it in, bring it in closer and closer. It's going to give a really good stretch in the glute. Bring it all the way down, open the arms again, and just let your knees sway so you can keep your ankle crossed here if it's possible for you to do so. If not, just stack your knees, create a really nice side twist. And as you release that, let's switch sides. Bring your left knee in, and you can keep your right leg bent if you like. And as you flex the ankle, lengthen the leg, maybe walk the hands up further to get more length in the back of that leg, giving it a big, beautiful stretch. Relax your shoulders while you're doing this as well. You don't want to tense those up. And from here, as you bring in your other knee, you're going to cross the ankle over top, reach through that window to pull it in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze towards your body. Great, great glute stretch here. Bring that foot down. You can press away a little bit more to get more in the front of the hip as you push open your thigh. And then as you open up both arms, let your knees sway over to your left, and you can continue looking up, or you can turn your head looking to your right, softening everything here. And as you uncross, you can roll completely over onto that side, curling in a little bit into the fetal position, pressing the floor away to push yourself up into a seated position. From here, we'll just come into a cobbler's pose, bringing the soles of the feet together. You can bring the heels in a little closer, holding on to the toes if possible. Let the knees open up. Stay nice and open here through the chest, tipping forward. And from here, come on back up again. Or bring the feet flat on your mat, bring the hands behind you. Nice stretch through the hips here as you lift it up, open the chest, and come on back again. Come back to seated, come into cross-legged this time. Open the arms nice and wide. Take a big breath in and wrap those arms right around yourself. Give yourself a nice squeeze, a pat on the back for a job very well done. And thank you so much. Namaste.